Oh, now we have
Hanuman Prabhu on the way, I guess. Who's Hanuman Prabhu? I don't understand.
it's
Is it
Hanuman Das.
some?
You don't know Hanuman Das?
No, who is that? Is it some new devotee? Is it?
Yes, Prabhu. It's just like Hanuman.
He's from
I don't understand.
South Africa, Prabhu.
South. Oh, is it? Okay, our man, Logo Hang Prabhu. Huh? Hare Krishna. He initiated himself. I think so.
Yes, Prabhu. Sometimes
Just
he's
like
on.
Furujit Prabhu in London, he initiated himself.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah, he initiated himself. In fact, he'll do something which Purijit Prabhu has not done. Hanuman Prabhu will give us his own commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, Prabhu. 30th canto.
Yeah, he will create 13th canto and he'll create 11th and 12th offenses as well. These are all
Yes,
upcoming
Prabhu.
things. You know.
Oh, Prabhu, we are
Hanuman
live.
will give us his own commentary on
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Anyway, all right, I can start now.
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So since we're Krishna, Bhagavad, no?
Haribol. Thank you so much, Karti Prabhu.
Thank you for allowing me to read, Prabhu. So I will read second after any devotee who goes first. Hare Krishna. I mean,
Hmm.
Prabhu, we can read any of the pastimes, right? Or
We
do we
will
have to go from start?
we will read 3 chapters, Prabhu, at least 31 pages.
Yeah, I mean, like we can go from any chapter, right? Not necessarily from chapter one, right?
Yes, Prabhu, but it's Krishna's appearance, so we should maybe read about Krishna's appearance.
Yes,
Right. No, it's
we should begin by that, and then we can pursue with other, proceed with another pastime. But we should it's a standard, like uh,
yes, Prabhu. I did
we
not
need
know
to
about that.
first
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
read that,
Noted.
and then we can go.
Haribol. Oh, yes, Prabhu. Okay. So, chapter number 1, Advent of Lord Krishna. Once the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense force of different kings, who were actually demons, but were posing themselves as the royal order. At that time, the whole world became perturbed, and the predominating deity of this earth, known as Bhumi, went to see Lord Brahma to tell of her calamities due to the demoniac kings. Bhumi assumed the shape of a cow and presented herself before Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She was bereaved and was weeping just to invoke the Lord's compassion. She related the calamitous position of the earth, and after hearing this, Lord Brahma became much aggrieved, and he at once started for the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu resides. Lord Brahma was accompanied by all the demigods headed by Lord Shiva, and Bhumi also followed. Arriving on the shore of the milk ocean, Lord Brahma became to pacify the Lord Vishnu, who formerly saved the earthly planet by assuming the transcendental form of a boar. In the Vedic mantras, there is a particular type of prayer called Purusha Sukta. Generally, the demigods offer their obeisances unto Vishnu, the Supreme Person of Godhead, by chanting this Purusha Sukta. It is understood herein that the predominating deity of every planet can see the Supreme Lord of this universe, Brahma, whenever there is some disturbance in his planet. And Brahma can approach the Supreme Lord Vishnu not by seeing him directly, but by standing on the shore of the ocean of milk. There is a planet within the universe called Svetadvip, and on that planet there is an ocean of milk. It is understood from various Vedic literatures that just as there is the ocean of salt water within this planet, there are various kinds of oceans in other planets. Somewhere there is an ocean of milk, somewhere there is an ocean of oil, somewhere there is an ocean of liquor, and many other types of oceans. Purusha Sukta is the standard prayer which the demigods recite to appease the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kshirodakasai Vishnu. Because he is laying on the ocean of milk, he is called Kshirodakasai Vishnu. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through whom all the incarnations within this universe appear. After all the demigods offered the Purusha Sukta prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they apparently heard no response. Then Lord Brahma personally sat in meditation, and there was a message transmission from Lord Vishnu to Brahma. Brahma then broadcast the message to the demigods. That is the system of receiving Vedic knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is received first by Brahma from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the heart. As stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahmarida, the transcendental knowledge of the Vedas was transmitted to Lord Brahma through the heart. Here also, in the same way, only Brahma could understand the message transmitted by Lord Vishnu, and he broadcast it to the demigods for their immediate action. The message was the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear on the earth very soon along with his supreme powerful potencies, and as long as he remains on the earth planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the demigods should also remain there to assist him. They should all immediately take birth in the family of the Yadu dynasty, wherein the Lord will also appear in due course of time. The Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna, personally appeared as the son of Vasudeva. Before he appeared, all the demigods, along with their wives, appeared in different pious families in the world just to assist the Lord in executing his mission. The exact word used here is tat priyartham, which means the demigod should appear on the earth in order to please the Lord. In other words, any living entity who lives only to satisfy the Lord is a demigod. The demigods were further informed that the plenary portion of Lord Krishna, Ananta, who is maintaining the universal planets by extending his millions of hoods, would also appear on earth before Lord Krishna's appearance. They were also informed that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enarmored, would also appear just to execute the purpose of the Supreme Lord. After instructing and pacifying all the demigods as well as Bhumi with sweet words, Lord Brahma, the father of all the Prajapatis or progenitors of universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest material planet called Brahmaloka. The leader of the Yadu dynasty, King Shurasena, was ruling over the country known as Mathura, the district of Mathura, as well as the district known as Surasena. On account of the rule of King Shurasena, Mathura became the capital city of the kings of the Yadus. Mathura was also made the capital of the kings of the Yadu dynasty because the Yadus were a very pious family and knew that Mathura is the place where Lord Sri Krishna lives eternally, just as he also lives in Dvaraka. Once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Surasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devaka, had contributed a sufficient dowry because he was very affectionate toward his daughter. He had contributed hundreds of chariots completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. According to the custom of the Vedic civilization, when a girl is married, the brother takes the sister and brother-in-law to their home. Because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from her father's family, the brother goes with her until she reaches her father-in-law's house. The full dowry contributed by Devaka was as follows: 400 elephants fully decorated with golden garlands, 15,000 decorated horses, and 1,800 chariots. He also arranged for 200 beautiful girls to follow his daughter. The Kshatriya system of marriage, still current in India, dictates that when a Kshatriya is married, a few dozen of the bride's young girlfriends, in addition to the bride, go to the house of the king. The followers of the queen are called maidservants, but actually they act as friends to the queen. This practice is prevalent from time immemorial, traceable at least to the time before the advent of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago. So Vasudeva brought home another 200 beautiful girls along with his wife. While the bride and bridegroom were passing along on the chariot, there were different kinds of musical instruments playing to indicate the auspicious moment. There were conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums combined together. They were vibrating a nice concert. The process was passing very pleasingly, and Kamsa was driving the chariot. When suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky, which especially announced to Kamsa, Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you do not know that the eighth child of this sister will kill you. Kamsa was the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoja dynasty. It is said that the Kamsa was the most demonic of all the Bhoja dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was just about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows with great reason and evidence. He said, "My dear brother-in-law Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. How is it that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at this auspicious time of her marriage? Why should you be so much afraid of death? That is already born along with your birth. From the very day you took your birth, you began to die. Suppose you are 25 years old, that means you have already died 25 years. Every moment, every second, you are dying. Why then should you be so much afraid of death? Final death is inevitable. You may die either today or in 100 years. You cannot avoid death. Why should you be so much afraid? Actually, death means annihilation of the present body. As soon as the present body stops functioning and mixes with the five elements of material nature, the living entity within the body accepts another body. according to his present action and reaction. It is just as when a man walks on the street, he puts forward his foot, and when he is confident that his foot is situated on some ground, he lifts the other foot. In this way, one after another, the body changes and the soul transmigrates. See how the plant worms change from one twig to another so carefully. Similarly, the living entity changes his body as soon as the higher authorities decide on his next body. As long as a living entity is conditioned within this material world, he must take material bodies one after another. His next particular body is offered by the laws of nature according to the actions and reactions of this life. This body is exactly like one of the bodies which we always see in dreams. During our dream of sleep, we create so many bodies according to mental creation. We have seen gold and we have also seen a mountain. So in a dream, we see a golden mountain by combining the two ideas. Sometimes in a dreams, we see that we have a body which is flying in the sky, and that at that time we completely forget our present body. Similarly, these bodies are changing. When you have one body, you forget the past body. During a dream, we may make contact with so many different new kinds of bodies, but when we are awake, we forget them all. And actually, these material bodies are the creation of our material activities. But at the present moment, we do not recollect our past bodies. The nature of the mind is flickering. Sometimes it accepts something and immediately it rejects the same thing. Accepting and rejecting is the process of the mind in contact with the five objects of sense gratification: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. In its speculative way, the mind comes in touch with the objects of sense gratification, and when the living entity desires a particular type of body, he gets it. Therefore, the body is an offering by the laws of material nature. The living entity accepts a body and comes out again into the material world to enjoy or suffer according to the construction of the body. Unless we have a particular type of body, we cannot enjoy or suffer according to our mental proclivities inherited from the previous life. The particular type of body is actually offered to us according to our mental condition at the time of death. The luminaries, planets like the sun, moon, or the stars reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving, but actually the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental concussion, the living entity attains different kinds of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies. But on account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. That is the way of a conditioned life. Suppose a living entity is now in a human form of a body, he thinks that he belongs to the human community, or a particular country or particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body which is not required by him. Such desires and mental concussions are the cause of different types of body. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with that body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg to request you to not be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body. Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone, because envy is the cause of fear both in this world and in the next when one is before Yamaraj, the Lord of punishment after death. So envy is the cause of fear both in this world and in the next when one is before Yamaraj. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment at the time of marriage. A younger sister or brother are supposed to be protected as one's children. The position is overall so delicate. Vasudeva reasoned that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa, but good instruction as well as by by good instruction as well as by philosophical discrimination, but Kamsa was not to be pacified because his association was demoniac. Because of demoniac association, he was always a demon, although born in a very high royal family. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He is just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demoniac or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. That is the difference between demigod and demon. Those who can accept good instruction and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instruction are called demons. Hmm. Failing in his attempt to pacify Kamsa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devaki. When there is imminent danger, an intelligent person should try to avoid a dangerous position as far as possible, but if in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, one fails to avoid the dangerous position, there is no fault on his part. One should try his best to execute his duties, but if the attempt fails, he is not at fault. Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows: for the present let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. For the present let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. He further thought, if in future I get a child who can kill Kamsa, just as Kamsa is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved, because the love of providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the life of Devaki. There is no certainty how a living entity contacts a certain type of body, just as there is no certainty how the blazing fire comes in contact with a certain type of wood in the forest. When there is a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. What this means? Similarly, a living entity may be very careful and fearful in the matter of executing his duties, but it is still very difficult for him to know what type of body he is going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharat was very faithful in executing the duties of self-realization, but by chance he contacted temporary affection for a deer, and he had to accept his next life in the body of a deer. Vasudeva, after deliberating on how to save his wife, began to speak to Kamsa with great respect, although Kamsa was the most sinful man. Sometimes it happens that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva has to flatter a person like Kamsa, a most vicious person. That is the way of all diplomatic transactions. Although Vasudeva was deeply aggrieved, he presented himself outwardly as cheerful. He addressed the shameless Kamsa in that way, because he was so atrocious. Vasudeva said to Kamsa, my dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister, who are not present now, and who knows, they may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present, nor is the cause of fear from your sister. Nor is there cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I shall present them, all of them, to you for necessary action. Kamsa knew the value of Vasudeva's word of honor, and he was convinced by his argument. For the time being, he desisted from the heinous killing of his sister. Thus Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kamsa. In this way he returned to his home. After due course of time, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to 8 male children, as well as one daughter. When the first was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva was very much elevated and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this fame. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over the newly born child, Kamsa was very glad to receive him. But he became a little compassionate with the behavior of Vasudeva. This event is very exemplary. For a great soul like Vasudeva, there is nothing considered to be painful in the course of discharging one's duty. A learned person like Vasudeva carries out his duties without hesitation. On the other hand, a demon like Kamsa never hesitates in committing any abominable action. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person can tolerate all kinds of miserable conditions of life. A learned man can discharge his duties without awaiting favorable circumstances. A heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way, and a devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the personality of Godhead. Kamsa became satisfied by the action of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise, and being compassionate upon him and pleased, he began to speak as follows. My dear Vasudeva, you need not to present this child to me. I am not in danger from this child. I have heard that the eighth child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You can take him back. When Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased by the behavior of Kamsa, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kamsa was uncontrolled. An atheistic person cannot be firm in his word of honor. One who cannot control the senses cannot be steady in his determination. The great politician Chanak Pandit said, never put your trust in a diplomat or in a woman. Those who are addicted to unrestricted sense gratification can never be truthful, nor can they be trusted with any faith. Hmm. At that time, the great sage Narada came to Kamsa. He was informed of Kamsa's becoming compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narada was very anxious to accelerate the descendant of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kamsa that personalities like Nanda Maharaj and all other cowherd men and girls and the wives of the cowherd men in Vrindavan and on the other side, Vasudeva, his father Surasena, and all his relatives born in the family of Vrishni of the Yadu dynasty were preparing for the appearance of the Lord. Narada warned Kamsa to be careful of the friends and well-wishers and all the demigods taking birth in those families. Kamsa and his friends and advisers were all demons. Demons are always afraid of demigods. After being thus informed by Narada about the appearance of the demigods in different families, Kamsa at once became alert. He understood that since the demigods had already appeared, Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki and put them behind prison bars.
Prabhu, but why did Naramuni say like that? Like,
Because he wanted to accelerate, here it says.
what?
It was going too slow.
Oh, because actually, because he said this, I think like six of the children of Devaki died. So,
Yes, Prabhu. He was informed
yes,
of
I was.
becoming
Hmm.
compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narada was very anxious to accelerate the descendant of Lord Krishna.
Oh. Hmm.
He wanted Krishna to appear fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, and this needed to these different these other
Then
sons they need
maybe.
to be born and killed
Hmm.
before Krishna appears.
Hmm. Maybe there was a reason why the Lord did this.
Yes, Prabhu, they represent the different. I forgot what they represent. The different. Who can help me?
Six
So
modes
it's
of
karma
things
for
from
the
envy,
job.
lust, anger,
Yeah, lust, anger, greed, envy,
envy.
illusion, and madness.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, okay.
So these
And
have
is
to
it
be
about that
removed.
Kalanemi sons? Like they were Kalanemi sons, so kind of their karma was there. So they came back and died as soon as I'd
Yes,
heard this story.
yes, Prabhu. I remember hearing something like this too. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, let's see. Oh, it's really short. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to male child year after year, and Kamsa, thinking each of the babies to be incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the eighth child, but after the visit of Narada, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth of Devaki and Vasudeva. This action of Kamsa is not very difficult to understand. There are many instances in the history of the world of persons in the royal order who have killed father, brother, or a whole family and friends for the satisfaction of their ambitions. There is nothing astonishing about this, for the demoniac can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions. In the story of
Hmm.
Jesus Christ, there is
Yeah.
similar part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The king Herodes ordered all the male children to be killed.
Yeah, many times it has happened in history. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Kamsa was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in his previous birth he was a demon of the name Kalanemi, and that he was killed by Vishnu. Having taken his birth in the Bhoja family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna was going to take birth in that family, and Kamsa was very much afraid that he would be killed by Krishna, just as he was killed in his last birth. Already he's scared that this is like some game. You die and you're just about to be born again. You're scared that already the opponent will kill you again. He first of all imprisoned his father Ugrasena because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andaka dynasties, and he also occupied the kingdom of Surasena, Vasudeva's father. He declared himself the king of all such places. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first chapter of Krishna, Advent of Lord Krishna. Prabhu. Okay, next is prayers by the demigods.
Can I read, Prabhu? Can I read?
Yes, Prabhu, let's see how many pages. I think this is longer.
Okay.
This is long, I think.
Prabhu, till when today session is there? Like, is it just 1 hour or more?
Until midnight, Prabhu.
Until
Until midnight.
Oh, really, Prabhu?
Are you for real?
Yes, Prabhu, we have to do fasting. You have, you have to help me in this fasting
So
part.
this is real tapasya.
I have exam
No
tomorrow,
joke.
Yeah, I am
So
also
we can
Prabhu.
finish Krishna book by midnight.
2 hours,
That's
not
it.
more.
We'll come pure devotee now. One
Yes,
day.
Prabhu. I will watch
Prabhupada
no.
said 1 minute. So Sami Prabhu is he's saying, yeah, Prabhu, one moment enough. Just come today, become pure devotee and go. Very good.
I will watch no one drinks water.
Hmm.
So no water.
Tomorrow also no water. Half day in usual.
Yes, Prabhu. So
Oh,
in the night,
really?
but
I
midnight
thought
you can
Ekadasi like.
have water.
Yeah, midnight we can
So,
take water and some Ekadasi Prashadam. It's tomorrow half day.
Yes,
so
Prabhu. You
Uh,
Karthi
can
Prabhu, are
Prabhu,
you in the
have.
I'm
temple?
taking that Ekadashi Prasadam because I have to take meds. Like,
Sorry,
is it
Prabhu, you were
fine?
saying something? Sridhar Prabhu?
Yeah.
So are you in the temple, Prabhu? Karthi Prabhu?
Damn, very good question. No, Prabhu, I'm not there
Oh
in the
no,
temple.
you're in the
I have
retreat.
exam.
to-
Yeah, I have exam tomorrow, so I'm fully
Oh,
cooked.
but you're anyway wearing Satvik outfit. So.
Satvik outfit. This is the temple kurta. I have nothing else to wear. My laundry is supposed to come today. They did not bring it. So what
Yeah,
I
no
can do?
Barcelona shirt anymore.
Hmm.
But I'm going to temple in 5 days.
Oh,
So
Very
by
good.
the way,
Yogesh
Prabhu,
Prabhu is there.
are you
Yeah,
gonna
he's there.
come?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'll just go to see
God
what
bless
he's
us.
doing.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll go to bully him. I'm just joking. He'll bully me. He's doing so much. He's in a shock. He's doing so much service. I think.
Yes, Prabhu. He's in service shop.
Yeah. All right, I can read.
Yes, Prabhu, but be prepared. It's long chapter.
Yeah, no issue, no issue.
It is many prayers.
Or maybe I can read half, someone else can read half, something like that we can do.
Yes, Prabhu, I can read if you may allow.
Of course. Second chapter, prayers by the demigods for Lord Krishna in the womb. King Kamsa not only occupied the kingdom of Yadu, Bhoja, and Andaka dynasties and the kingdom of Shurasena, but he also made alliances with all other demoniac kings as follows: the demon Pralamba, demon Baka, demon Chanura, demon Trinavarta, demon Aghasura, demon Mushtika, demon Arishta, demon Dvivida, demon Putana, demon Keshi, and demon Dhenuka. At that time, Jarasandha was the king of Magadha province known as present Bihar state. Thus, by his diplomatic policy, Kamsa consolidated the most powerful kingdom of his time under the protection of Jarasandha. He made further alliances with such kings as Banasura and Bhaumasura until he was the strongest. Then he began to behave most inimically towards the Yadu dynasty, into which Krishna was to take his birth. Being harassed by Kamsa, the king of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andaka dynasties, began to take shelter in different states, such as the state of Kurus, the state of Panchalas, and the states known as Kekaya, Shalva, Vidarbha, Nishadha, Vidheha, and Koshala. Kamsha broke the solidarity of the Yadu kingdom as well as the Boja and Andaka. He made the most solid within the vast tract of land known at that time as Yadav. When Kamsha this
Prabhu, turn your camera off. It's cutting. Haribo, Haribo.
Prabhu, in this paragraph, what they are saying that some relatives approach him to request him to not continue these activities, but later all of them become worshippers. What happened actually here?
Oh, but Prabhu.
Means here it is written that many of them came to request him to discontinue these heinous activities, but all of them became worshippers of Kamsa.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
how means their mind changed, something like that.
Yes, Prabhu. He did some mind control of this.
So
They didn't
maybe.
have they didn't have full. They were not pure devotees, Prabhu. So they were
Yes, yes, yes.
not.
Maybe.
They were
Yeah,
still having doubt whether the demigod has come, whether the supreme personality of God has come. So that is
yeah.
the quality of such people. They don't really trust or believe. So they
Yes, yes.
surrender to government or a higher authority. Just like how we had in Mahabharata, different personalities like even Dronacharya or Bhishma, they even though they were pure devotees, they were like at that time they weren't opening their mouth when atrocities were being committed against Draupadi. So a similar behavior characteristic, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, am I audible now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. So can I continue? I'm sorry for the Wi-Fi. Can I continue now?
Yes, Prabhu. Please continue.
When Devaki became pregnant for the seventh time, a plenary expansion of Krishna known as Ananta appeared within her womb. Devaki was overwhelmed both with jubilation and lamentation. She was joyful, for she could understand that Lord Vishnu had taken shelter within her womb, but at the same time she was sorry that as soon as the child would come out, Kamsa would kill him. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, being compassionate upon the fearful condition of the Yadus due to atrocities committed by Kamsa, ordered the appearance of his Yogamaya, or internal potency. Krishna is the Lord of the universe, but he is especially the Lord of the Yadu dynasty. This Yogamaya is the principal potency of the personality of Godhead. In the Vedas, it is stated that the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has multi potencies. Parasha Shaktir Vividhaiva Shuyate. Are eternally eternal. And Yogamaya is ordered in Vrindavan is Rohini, one of the wives of Vasudeva, was residing at the house of King Nanda and Queen Yashoda. Not only Rohini, but many others in the Yadu dynasty were scattered all over the country due to their fear of the atrocities of Kamsa. Some of them were even living in the caves of the mountains. The Lord thus informed Yogamaya, under the imprisonment of Kamsa are Devaki and Vasudeva. And at the present moment, my plenary expansion Shesha is within the womb of Devaki. You can arrange the transfer of Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. After this arrangement, I am personally going to appear in the womb of Devaki with my full potencies. Then I shall appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, and you shall appear as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda in Vrindavana. Since you will appear as my contemporary sister, people within the world will worship you with all kinds of valuable presentations, incense, candles, flowers, and offerings of sacrifice. You shall quickly satisfy their desires for sense gratification. People who are after materialistic affection will worship you under the different forms of your expansions, which will be named Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Chandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and Ambika. Krishna and Yogamaya appeared as brother and sister, the supreme powerful and the supreme power. Although there is no clear distinction between the powerful and the power, power is always subordinate to the powerful. Those who are materialistic are worshippers of the power, but those who are transcendentalists are worshippers of the powerful. Krishna is the supreme powerful and Durga is the supreme power within the material world. Hmm. Actually, people in the Vedic culture worship both the powerful and the power. There are many hundreds of thousands of temples of Vishnu and Devi, and sometimes they are worshipped simultaneously. The worship can scroll down from the worshipper of the power Durga or external energy of Krishna may achieve all kinds of material success very easily. But anyone who wants to be elevated transcendentally must engage in worshipping the powerful in Krishna consciousness. The Lord also declared to Yogamaya that his plenary expansion Ananta Shesha was within the womb of Devaki. On account of being forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini, he would be known as Shankarshana, and source of all spiritual power or bala, by which one could be able to attain the highest bliss of life, which is called Ramana. Therefore, the plenary portion Ananta would be known after his appearance either as Sankarshana or Balarama. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. The purport is that one cannot attain the supreme or any form of self realization without being sufficiently favored by Balarama. Hmm. Bala does not mean physical strength. No one can attain spiritual perfection by physical strength. One must have the spiritual strength which is infused by Balarama or Sankarshana. Ananta or Shesha is the power which sustains all the planets in their different positions. It is this power is known as It is the Karshana. Balarama or Sankarshana is spiritual power or the original spiritual master. Therefore, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is also the incarnation of Balarama, is the original spiritual master. And the spiritual master is the representative of Balarama, the supreme personality of Godhead, who supplies spiritual strength. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is confirmed that the spiritual master is the manifestation of the mercy of Krishna. When Yogamaya was thus ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she was circumambulated by the Lord. She circumambulated the Lord and then appeared within this material world according to his order. When the Supreme Powerful Personality of Godhead transferred Lord Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, both of them were under the spell of Yogamaya, which is also called Yoga Nidra. When this was done, people understood that Devaki's seventh pregnancy was a miscarriage. Thus, although Balarama appeared as a son of Devaki, he was transferred to the womb of Rohini to appear as her son. After this arrangement, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is always ready to place his full potencies in his unalloyed devotees, entered as the Lord of the whole creation within the mind of Vasudeva. It is understood in this connection that Lord Krishna first of all situated himself in the unalloyed heart of Devaki. He was not put into the womb of Devaki by seminal discharge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable potency, can appear in any way. It is not necessary for him to appear in the ordinary way by seminal injection within the womb of a woman. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching to the common man. The form of the Lord situated in the pure unalloyed heart of Vasudeva is not different from the original form of Sri Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna anywhere, and specifically within the heart, is called Dhama. Dhama does not refer to Krishna's form, but his name, his form, his quality, and his paraphernalia. Everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Thus, the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full potencies was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the heart of Krishna, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. Hmm. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva. He was beyond the conditions of the ordinary living entity. When Krishna is there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayana and incarnations like Narasimha, Varaha, etc., are within him, and they are not subject to the conditions of material existence. In this way, Devaki became the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second and the cause of all creation. Devaki became the residence of the Absolute Truth, but because she was within the house of Kamsa, she looked just like a suppressed fire or like misused education. When fire is covered by the walls of a pot or is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge, which does not benefit the people in general, is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kamsa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamsa, however, saw the transcendental beauty of his sister Devaki, and he at once concluded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead had taken shelter in her womb. She had never before looked so wonderfully beautiful. He could distinctly understand that there was something wonderful within the womb of Devaki. In this way, Kamsa became perturbed. He was sure that the Supreme Personality of Godhead would kill him in the future and that he had now come. Kamsa began to think, what is to be done with Devaki? Surely she has Vishnu or Krishna within her womb. So it is certain that Krishna has come to execute the mission of the demigods. And even if I immediately kill Devaki, his mission cannot be frustrated. Kamsa knew very well that no one can frustrate the purpose of Vishnu. Any intelligent man can understand that the laws of God cannot be violated. His purpose will be served in spite of all impediments offered by the demons. Kamsa thought, if I kill Devaki at the present moment, Vishnu will enforce his supreme will more vehemently. To kill Devaki just now would be a most abominable act. No one desires to kill his reputation, even in an awkward situation. If I kill Devaki now, my reputation will be spoiled. Devaki is a woman and she is under my shelter. She's pregnant, and if I kill her, immediately all my reputation, the result of pious activities, and duration of life will be finished. Oh. He also further deliberated. A person who is too cruel, even in this lifetime, is as good as dead. No one likes a cruel person during his lifetime, and after his death, people curse him. On account of his self identification with the body, he must, he must be degraded and pushed into the darkest region of hell. Kamsa thus meditated on all the pros and cons of killing Devaki at that time. Anybody else can read Prabhu's? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Amit Prabhu, your turn.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for giving me a chance. Um, Kamsa finally decided not to kill Devaki right away, but to wait for the inevitable future. But his mind, Prabhu, am I audible? Am I clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. But his mind became absorbed in animosity against the personality of Godhead. Uh, he patiently waited for the deliverance of the child, expecting to kill him, and as he had done previously with the other babies of Devaki. Thus, being merged in the ocean of animosity against the personality of Godhead, he began to think of Krishna and Vishnu while sitting, while sleeping, while walking, while eating, while working in all the situations of his life. His mind became so much absorbed with the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that indirectly he could see only Krishna or Vishnu around him. Unfortunately, although his mind was so absorbed in the thought of Vishnu, he is not recognized as a devotee because he was thinking of Krishna as an enemy. The state of mind is of a great devotee is also to be always absorbed in Krishna, but a devotee thinks of him favorably, not unfavorably. To think of Krishna favorably is Krishna consciousness, but to think of Krishna unfavorably is not Krishna consciousness. And Prabhu, is animosity is hatred or what? Animosity to the Lord Hamsa has.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. At the time, at this time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narad and followed by many other demigods, invisibly appeared in the house of Kamsa. They began to pray for the Supreme Personality of Godhead in selected prayers which are very pleasing to the devotees and which award fulfillment of their desires. The first words they spoke acclaimed that the Lord is true to his vow. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna descends in this material world just to protect the pious and destroy the impious. That is his vow. The demigods could understand that the Lord had taken his residence within the womb of Devaki in order to fulfill his vow. The were very glad that the Lord was appearing to fulfill his mission, and they addressed him as Satyam Param, or the Supreme Absolute Truth. Everyone is searching after the truth. That is the philosophical way of life. The demigods give information that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Krishna. One who becomes fully Krishna conscious can attain the Absolute Truth. Krishna is the Absolute Truth. Relative truth is not truth in all the three phases of eternal time. Time is divided into past, present, and future. Krishna is truth, always past, present, and future. In the material world, everything is being controlled by supreme time in the course of past, present, and future. But before the creation, Krishna was existing, and when there is creation, everything is resting in Krishna. And when this creation is finished, Krishna will remain. Therefore, he is absolute truth in all circumstances. If there is any truth within this material world, it emanates from the supreme truth, Krishna. If there is any opulence within this material world, the cause of the opulence is Krishna. If there is any reputation within this material world, the cause of the reputation is Krishna. If there is any strength within the material world, the cause of such strength is Krishna. If there is any wisdom and education within the material world, the cause of such wisdom and education is Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the source of all relative truths. This material world is composed of the five principal elements earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and all such elements are emanations from Krishna. The material scientists accept these primary five elements as the cause of material manifestation, but the elements in their gross and subtle states are produced by Krishna. The living entities who are working within this material world are also products of his marginal potency. In the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that the whole manifestation is a combination of two kinds of energies of Krishna, the superior energy and the inferior energy. The living entities are the superior energy, and the dead material elements are his inferior energy. In its dormant stage, everything remains in Krishna. The demigods continued to offer their respectful prayers unto the supreme form of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, by analytical study of the material manifestation. What is this material manifestation? It is just like a tree. A tree stands on the ground. Similarly, the tree of the material manifestation is standing on the ground of material nature. This material manifestation is compared with a tree because a tree is ultimately cut off in due course of time. A tree is called vriksha. Vriksha means that thing which will be ultimately cut off. Therefore, this tree of the material manifestation cannot be accepted as the ultimate truth. The influence of time is on the material manifestation, but Krishna's body is eternal. He existed before the material manifestation. He is existing while the material manifestation is continuing, and when it will be dissolved, he will continue to exist. The Katha Upanishad also cites this example of the tree of material manifestation standing on the ground of material nature. This tree has two kinds of fruits, distress and happiness. Those who are living on the tree of the body are just like two birds. One bird is the localized aspect of Krishna known as the Paramatma, and the other bird is the living entity. The living entity is eating the fruits of his material manifestation. Sometimes he eats the fruit of happiness, and sometimes he eats the fruits of distress. But the other bird is not interested in eating the fruit of distress or happiness because he is self satisfied. The Katha Upanishad states that one bird on the tree of the body is eating the fruits, and the other bird is simply witnessing. The roots of this tree is extend in three directions. That means the root of the tree is the three modes of the material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Just as the tree's root expands, so by association of the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, one expands his duration of material existence. The taste of the fruits are of four kinds: religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and ultimately liberation. According to the different associations in the three modes of material nature, the living entities are tasting different kinds of religiosity, different kinds of economic development, different kinds of sense gratification, and different kinds of liberation. Practically, all material work is performed in ignorance, but because there are three qualities, sometimes the quality of ignorance is covered with goodness or passion. The taste of these material fruits is accepted through five senses. The five sense organs through which knowledge is acquired are subjected to six kinds of whips: lamentation, illusion, infirmity, death, hunger, and thirst. This material body or the material manifestation is covered by seven layers: skin, muscle, flesh, marrow, bone, fat, and stamina. The branches of the tree are eight: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. There are nine gates in this body: the two eyes, two nostrils, two ears, one mouth, one genital, one rectum. And there are 10 kinds of internal air passing within the body: prana, apana, udan, vyan, samana, etc. The two birds seated in this tree are, as explained above, are the living entity and the localized supreme personality of Godhead. The root cause of the material manifestation described here is the supreme personality of Godhead. The supreme personality of Godhead expands himself and takes charge of the three qualities of the material world. Vishnu takes charge of the modes of goodness, Brahma takes charge of the modes of passion, and Lord Shiva takes charge of the modes of ignorance. Brahma, by the mode of passion, creates this manifestation. Lord Vishnu maintains this manifestation by the modes of goodness, and Lord Shiva annihilates it by the modes of ignorance. The whole creation ultimately rests in the Supreme Lord. He is the cause of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. And when the whole manifestation is dissolved in its subtle form as the energy of the Lord, it rests within the body of the Supreme Lord. At the present, the demigods prayed, the Supreme Lord Krishna is appearing just for the maintenance of this manifestation. Actually, Supreme Cause is one, but being deluded by the three modes of material nature, less intelligent persons see that the material world is manifested through different causes. Those who are intelligent can see that the cause is one, Krishna. As it is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Sarva Karana Karanam, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all causes. Brahma is the deputed agent for creation. Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna for maintenance, and Lord Shiva is the expansion of Krishna for dissolution. Our dear Lord, the demigods prayed, it is very difficult to understand your eternal form of personality. People in general are unable to understand your actual form, therefore, you are personally descending to exhibit your original eternal form. Somehow, people can understand the different incarnations of your Lordship, but they are puzzled to understand the eternal form of Krishna with two hands moving among human beings, exactly like one of them. This eternal form of your lordship is ever increasing in transcendental pleasure for the devotees. But for the non-devotees, this form is very dangerous. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is very pleasing to the sadhu. It is said, Paritranaya sadhunam. But this form is very dangerous for the demons because Krishna also descends to kill the demons. He is therefore simultaneously pleasing to the devotees and dangerous to the demons. Our dear lotus-eyed Lord, you are the source of pure goodness. There are many great sages who simply by samadhi or transcendentally meditating upon your lotus feet and thus being absorbed in your thought have easily transformed the great ocean of nescience created by the material nature to no more than water in a calf's hoofprint. The purpose of meditation is to focus the mind upon the personality of Godhead, beginning from his lotus feet. Simply by meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, great sages cross over this vast ocean of material existence without difficulty. O self-illuminated one, the great saintly persons who have crossed over the ocean of nescience by the help of the transcendental boat of your lotus feet have not taken away that boat. It is still lying on the side. The demigods are using a nice simile. If one takes a boat to cross over a river, the boat also goes with one to the other side of the river. And so, when one reaches the destination, how can the same boat be available to those who are still on the other side? To answer this difficulty, the demigods say in their prayer that the boat is not taken away. The devotees still remaining on the other side are able to pass over the ocean of material nature because the pure devotees who do not take the boat with them when they cross over. When one simply approaches the boat, the whole ocean of material nescience is reduced to the size of water in a calf's hoofprint. Therefore, the devotees do not need to take a boat to the other side. They simply cross the ocean immediately. Because the great saintly persons are compassionate towards all conditioned souls, the boat is still lying at the lotus feet of the Lord. One can meditate upon his feet at any time, and by so doing, one can cross over the great ocean of material existence. Meditation means concentration upon the lotus feet of the Lord. Lotus feet indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are impersonalists do not recognize the lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore their object of meditation is something impersonal. The demigods express their mature verdict that persons who are interested in meditating on something void or impersonal cannot cross over the ocean of nescience. Such persons are simply imagining that they have become liberated. O lotus-eyed Lord, their intelligence is contaminated because they fail to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lordship. As a result of this neglectful activity, the impersonalists fall down again into the material way of conditioned life, although they may temporarily rise up to the point of impersonal realization. Uh, Impersonalists, after undergoing severe austerities and penances, merge themselves into the Brahman effulgence or impersonal Brahman existence. But their minds are not free from material contamination. They have simply tried to negate the material ways of thinking. That that does not mean that they have become liberated. Thus, they fall down. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the impersonalist has to undergo great tribulation in realizing the ultimate goal. At the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also stated that without devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot achieve liberation from the bondage of creative activities. The statement of Lord Krishna is there in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The statement of the great sage Narad is there, and here are also the demigods confirm it. Persons who have not taken to devotional service are understood to have come short of the ultimate purpose of knowledge and are not favored by your grace. The impersonalists simply think that they are liberated, but actually they have no feeling for the personality of Godhead. They think that when Krishna comes into the material world, he accepts a material body. They therefore overlook the transcendental body of Krishna. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Avajanati mama mudha. In spite of conquering material lust and rising up to the point of liberation, the impersonalists fall down. If they are engaged just in knowing things for the sake of knowledge and do not take to the devotional service of the Lord, they cannot achieve the desired result. Their achievement is the trouble they take, and that is all. It is clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita that to realize Brahman identification is not all. Brahman identification may help one become joyful and without material attachment or detachment uh, to achieve the platform of equanimity. But after this stage, one has to take devotional service. When one takes to devotional service, after being elevated to the platform of Brahman realization, he is then admitted into the spiritual kingdom for permanent residence in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the result of devotional service. Those who are devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead never fall down like the impersonalists. Even if the devotees fall down, they remain affectionately attached to their lordship. They can meet all kinds of obstacles on the path of devotional service, and freely, without any fear, they uh, where it is without any fear, they can surmount such obstacles. Because of their surrender, they are certain that Krishna will always protect them, as it is promised by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. My devotees are never vanquished. Our dear Lord, you have appeared in your original unalloyed form, the eternal form of goodness, for the welfare of all the living entities within this material world. Taking advantage of your appearance, all of them can now very easily understand the nature and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Persons who belong to the four divisions of the social order, the Brahmacharis, the Grihasthas, the Vanaprasthas, and the Sannyasis, can all take advantage of your appearance. Dear Lord, husband of the goddess of fortune, Devotees who are dovetailed in your service do not fall down from their high position like the impersonalists. Being protected by you, the devotees are able to traverse over the heads of many of Maya's commanders in chief who can always put stumbling blocks on the path of liberation. My dear Lord, My dear Lord, you appear in your transcendental form for the benefit of the living entities so that they can see you face to face and offer their worshipful sacrifices by ritualistic performance of the Vedas, mystic meditation, and devotional service as recommended in the scriptures. Dear Lord, if you did not appear in your eternal transcendental form full of bliss and knowledge, which can eradicate all kinds of speculative ignorance about your position, then all people would simply speculate about you according to their respective modes of material nature. The appearance of Krishna is the answer to all imaginative iconography of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone imagines the Lord of a Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his modes of material nature. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord is the oldest person. Therefore, a section of religionists imagine that God must be very old, and therefore they depict a form of Lord like a very old man, but the same way. Brahma Samhita that is contradicted, although he is the oldest of all living entities, he has his eternal form as a fresh youth. The exact words used in this connection in the Srimad Bhagavatam are Vijnanam Vijnanam Agyayabhid Apamarajanam. Vijnanam means transcendental knowledge of Supreme Personality. Vijnanam is also experienced knowledge. Transcendental knowledge has to be accepted by the descending process of disciplic succession as Brahma presents the knowledge of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is Vijnanam as realized by Brahma's transcendental experience. And in that way, he is presented the form and the pastimes of Krishna in the transcendental abode. Ajnanabhid means that which can match all kinds of speculation in ignorance. In ignorance, the people are imagining the form of the Lord. Sometimes he has no form and sometimes he has form, according to their different imaginations. But the presentation of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita is Vijnanam's, uh, Vijnanam's, is some word is missing here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Um, uh, Experienced knowledge given by Lord Brahma and accepted by Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt about it. Shri Krishna's form, Shri Krishna's flute, Krishna's color, everything is reality. Here it is that this Vijnanam is always defeating all kinds of speculative knowledge. Therefore, without your appearing as Krishna as you are, neither Ajnanabhid, nescience of speculative knowledge, nor Vijnanam would be realized. Ajnanabhid apamarajanam, by your appearance, the speculative knowledge of ignorance. Prabhu, just one line above, I mean, didn't complete it. Of ignorance will be vanquished, and the real experience of knowledge of authorities like Lord Brahma will be established. Men influenced by the three modes of material nature imagine their own God according to their modes of material nature. In this way, God is presented in various forms, but your appearance will establish what the real form of God is. The highest blunder committed by the impersonalist is to think that when the incarnation of God comes, he accepts the form of matter and the form modes of goodness. Actually, the form of Krishna or Narayan is transcendental to any material idea. Even the great impersonalist Shankaracharya has admitted that Narayana Paro Vyaktat, the material creation is caused by the avyakt impersonal manifestation of matter or the non-phenomenal total reservation of matter, and Krishna is transcendental to that material conception. That is expressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Shuddha Sattva or transcendental. He does not belong to the material modes of goodness, and he is above position of material goodness. He belongs to the transcendental eternal status of bliss and knowledge. Lavish Prabhu, it is the chapter of prayers of demigods, I think, second chapter. Dear Lord, when you appear in your different incarnations, you take different names and forms according to the different situations. Lord Krishna is your name because you are all attractive. You are called Shyam Sundar because of your transcendental beauty. Shyama means blackish, yet they say that you are more beautiful than 10,000s of cupids. Kandarpakoti Kamaniya, although you appear in a color that which is compared to the blackish cloud, because you are transcendental absolute, your beauty is many times more attractive than the delicate body of Cupid. Sometimes you are called Girdhari because you lifted the hill known as Govardhan. You are sometimes called Nandanandana or Vasudeva or Devaki Nandan because you appeared as the son of Maharaj Nanda or Devaki or Vasudeva. Impersonalists think that your many names or forms are according to a particular type of work and quality because they accept you from the position of material observer. Our dear Lord, the way of understanding is to not to study your absolute nature, form, and activities by mental speculation. One must engage himself in devotional service, and then one can understand your absolute nature, transcendental form, name, and quality. Actually, only a person who has a little taste for the service of your lotus feet can understand your transcendental nature or form and quality. Others may go on speculating for millions of years, but it is not possible for them to understand even a single part of your actual position.
Hare Krishna, bro. 1 minute, please stop.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna, Prabhu.
there is given that you are a son of Devaki and Nanda. How demigods know before his birth that he is son of Devaki and Nanda. Yes, previous
Actually,
chapter.
Prabhu, do you know that story when Mother Earth goes to Narayan and prays for deliverance in every like Ram Avatar also, Krishna Avatar also. So then the absolutely like Narayan would be knowing, then definitely the demigods he will be instructing them, and he instructed, I'll be going to take an avatar, and all you have to be also become with me. I think this is what I have heard. Please clarify it, Sami Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, in other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be understood by the non devotees because there is a curtain of Yogamaya, which covers Krishna's actual features, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Naham, Naham Prakshaha Sarvasya. The Lord says, I am not exposed to anyone and everyone. When Krishna came, he was actually present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and everyone saw him. But not everyone could understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, everyone who died in his presence attained complete liberation from material bondage and was transferred to the spiritual world. O Lord, the impersonalist or non devotees cannot understand your name is identical with your form. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no difference between his name and his actual form. In the material world, there is a difference between form and name. The mango fruit is different from the name of the mango. One cannot taste a mango fruit by simply by chanting mango, mango, mango. But the devotee who knows that there is no difference between name and the form of the Lord chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and realizes that he is always in Krishna's company. For persons who are not very advanced in absolute knowledge of the Supreme, Lord Krishna exhibits his transcendental pastimes. They can simply think of the pastimes of the Lord and get the full benefit. Since Since there is no difference between the transcendental name and the form of the Lord, there is no difference between the transcendental pastimes and the form of the Lord. For those who are less intelligent, like women, laborers, or the mercantile class, the great sage Vyasadeva wrote Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, Krishna is present in the different activities, in his different activities. Mahabharata is history, and simply by studying, hearing, and memorizing the transcendental activities of Krishna, the less intelligent can also gradually rise to the standard of pure devotees. The pure devotees who are absorbed in the thought of the transcendental lotus feet of Krishna and who are always engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness are never to be considered to be in the material world. Sri Rupa Goswami has explained that those who are always engaged in Krishna consciousness by body, mind, and activities are to be considered liberated even within this body. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord have already transcended the material position. Krishna appears to give the chance both to the devotees and non-devotees for realization of the ultimate goal of life. The devotees get the direct chance to see him and worship him. Those who are not on the platform to get the chance to become acquainted with his activities and thus become elevated to the same position. Oh dear Lord, the demigods continued. You are unborn, therefore do not find any reason for your appearance other than for your pleasurable pastimes. Although the reason for the appearance of the Lord is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, he descends just to give protection to the devotee and vanquish the non-devotee. Actually, he descends for his pleasure meeting with the devotees, not really to vanquish the non-devotees. The non-devotees can be vanquished simply by material nature. The action and reaction of that external energy of material nature, creation, maintenance, and annihilation, are being carried on automatically, but simply by taking shelter of your holy name, because your holy name and your personality are non-different. The devotees are sufficiently protected. The protection of the devotees and the annihilation of the non-devotees are actually not the business of the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he descends. They are just for his transcendental pleasure. There cannot be any other reason for his appearance. Our dear Lord, you are appearing as the best of the Yadu dynasty, and we are offering our respectful, humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. Before this appearance, you also appeared as the fish incarnation, the horse incarnation, the tortoise incarnation, the swan incarnation, the King Ramchandra, and Parshuram, and as many other incarnations. You appeared just to protect the devotees, and we request you in your present appearance as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself to give us similar protection all over the three worlds and remove all obstacles for the peaceful execution of our lives. Dear Mother Devaki, within your womb is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing along with all his plenary extensions. He is the original personality of Godhead, appearing for your welfare. Therefore, you should not be afraid of your brother, the king of Bhoja, your son, Lord Krishna, who is the original personality of Godhead, will appear for the protection of the pious Yadu dynasty. The Lord is appearing not only alone, but accompanied by his immediate plenary portion, Balarama. Devaki was very much afraid of her brother Kamsa because he had already killed so many of her children. She used to remain very anxious about Krishna. In the Vishnu Purana, it is stated that in order to pacify Devaki, all the demigods, along with their wives, used to always visit her to encourage her not to be afraid that her son would be killed by a Kamsa. Krishna, who was within her womb, was to appear not only to diminish the burden of the world, but specifically to protect the interest of the Yadu dynasty and certainly to protect Devaki and Vasudeva. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second chapter of Krishna, the prayers of the demigods for Lord Krishna in the womb. Hare
Haribol.
Krishna,
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhu.
Bol.
Okay, who wants to start next chapter? Nine pages. It's
क्या
not
बोल रही थी तुम?
okay. I can read the first 2 pages. Chapter 3, Birth of Lord Krishna. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that his appearance, birth, and activities are all transcendental, and one who understands them factually becomes immediately eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world. The Lord's appearance or birth is not like that of an ordinary man who is forced to accept the material body according to his past deeds. The Lord's appearance is explained in the second chapter. He appears out of his own sweet pleasure. When the time was made mature for the appearance of the Lord, the constellations became very auspicious. The astrological influence of the star known as Rohini was also predominant because this star is considered to be very auspicious. Rohini is under the direct supervision of Brahma. According to the astrological conclusion, besides the proper situation of the stars, there are auspicious and inauspicious moments due to the different situations of the different planetary systems. At the time of Krishna's birth, the planetary systems were automatically adjusted so that everything became auspicious. At that time, in all directions, east, west, south, north, everywhere, there was an atmosphere of peace and prosperity. There were auspicious stars visible in the sky, and of the surface in all towns and villages or pasturing grounds and within the minds of everyone there were signs of good fortune. The rivers were flowing full of waters, and lakes were beautifully decorated with lotus flowers. The forests were full with beautiful birds and peacocks. All the birds within the forest began to sing with sweet voices, and the peacocks began to dance along with their consorts. The wind blew very pleasantly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, and the sensations of bodily touch was very pleasing. At home, the Brahmanas, who were accustomed to offer sacrifices in the fire, found their homes very pleasant for sacrifice. Due to disturbances created by the demoniac kings, the sacrificial fire altar had been almost stopped in the houses of Brahmanas, but now they could find the opportunity to start the fire peacefully. Being forbidden to offer sacrifices, the Brahmanas were very distressed in mind, intelligence, and activities, but just on the point of Krishna's appearance, automatically their minds became full of joy because they could hear loud vibrations in the sky of transcendental sounds proclaiming the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The denizens of the Gandharva and Kinnara planets began to sing, and the denizens of Siddhaloka, and the planets of the Charanas began to offer prayers in the service of the personality of Godhead. In the heavenly planets, the angels, along with their wives, accompanied by the Apsaras, began to dance. The great sages and the demigods, being pleased, began to shower flowers. At the seashore there was the sound of mild waves, and above the sea there were clouds in the sky, which began to thunder very pleasingly. When things were adjusted like this, Lord Vishnu, who is residing within the heart of every living entity, appeared in the darkness of night as the Supreme Personality of Godhead before Devaki, who also appeared as one of the demigoddesses. The appearance of Lord Vishnu at the time could be compared with the full moon in the sky as it rises on the eastern horizon. The objection may be raised that since Lord Krishna appeared on the 8th day of the waning moon, there could not be rising moon of the full moon. In answer to this, it may be said that Lord Krishna appeared in the dynasty which is in the hierarchy of the moon. Therefore, although the moon was incomplete on that night, because of the Lord's appearance in the dynasty wherein the moon himself is the original person, the moon was in an overjoyous condition. So by the grace of Krishna, he could appear just as a full moon. In an astronomical treatise by the name Kaman, Kamanikya, the constellations at the time of the appearance of the Lord Krishna are very nicely described. It is confirmed that the child born at the auspicious moment was the Supreme Brahman or the Absolute Truth. Vasudeva saw that the wonderful child born as a baby, with 4 hands holding conch shell, club disc, and lotus flower, decorated with the marks of Srivatsa, wearing the jeweled necklace of Kaustuba stone, dressed in yellow silk, appearing dazzling like a bright blackish cloud, wearing a helmet bedecked with a Vaidurya stone, valuable bracelets, earrings, and similar other ornaments all over his body, and abundance of hair on his head. Due to the extraordinary features of the child, Vasudeva was struck with wonder. How could a newly born child be so decorated? He could therefore understand that Lord Krishna had now appeared, and he became overpowered by the occasion. Vasudeva very humbly wondered that although he was an ordinary living entity conditioned by material nature and was externally imprisoned by Kamsa, the all-pervading personality of Godhead Vishnu or Krishna was appearing as a child in his own, exactly in his original position. No earthly child is born with 4 hands, decorated with ornaments and nice clothing, fully equipped with all the signs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Over and over again, Vasudeva glanced at his child, and he considered how to celebrate this auspicious moment. Generally, when a male child is born, he thought people he thought people observe the occasion with jubilant celebrations, and in my home, although I am imprisoned, the Supreme Personality of God has taken birth. How many millions of times should I be prepared to observe this auspicious ceremony? Then Vasudeva, who is called Anak Anakadundubi, was looking at his newborn baby. He was so happy that he wanted to give many thousands of cows in charity to the Brahmanas. According to the Vedic system, whenever there is an auspicious ceremony in the Kshatriya king's palace, the king gives many things in charity. Cows decorated with golden ornaments are delivered to the Brahmanas and sages. Vasudeva wanted to perform a charitable ceremony to celebrate Krishna's appearance, but because he was shackled within the walls of Kamsa's prison, this was not possible. Instead, within his mind, he gave thousands of cows to the Brahmanas. When Vasudeva was convinced that the newborn child was the Supreme Person of Godhead himself, he bowed down with folded hands and began to offer him prayers. At that time, Vasudeva was in the transcendental position and he became completely free from all fear of Kamsa. The newborn baby was also flashing his effulgence within the room in which he appeared. Haribol, who wants to continue from this part? Okay, I can read. Vasudeva then began to offer his prayers. My dear Lord, I can understand who you are. You are the Supreme Person of Godhead, the super soul of all living entities, and the absolute truth. You have appeared in your full eternal form, which is directly perceived by us. I understand that because I am afraid of Kamsa, you have appeared just to deliver me from that fear. You do not belong to this material world. You are the same person who brings about the cosmic manifestation simply by glancing over material nature. One may argue that the Supreme Person of Godhead who creates the whole cosmic manifestation simply by his glance cannot come within the womb of Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. To eradicate this argument, Vasudeva said, My dear Lord, It is not a very wonderful thing that you appear within the womb of Devaki, because the creation was also made in that way. You were lying in the causal ocean of Mahavishnu, and by your breathing process, innumerable universes came into existence. Then you entered into each of the universes as Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Then again you expanded yourself as Kshirodakasai Vishnu, and entered into the hearts of all living entities, and entered even within the atoms. Therefore, your entrance in the womb of Devaki is understandable in the same way. You appear to have entered, but you are simultaneously all pervading. We can understand your entrance and non-entrance from material examples. The total material energy remains intact even after being divided into 16 elements. The material body is nothing but the combination of the five gross elements, namely earth, water, fire, and ether. Whenever there is a material body, it appears that such elements are newly created, but actually the elements are always existing outside of the body. Similarly, although you appear as a child in the womb of Devaki, you are also existing outside. You are always in your abode, but still you can simultaneously expand yourself into millions of forms. One has to understand your appearance with great intelligence, because the material energy is also emanating from you. You are the original source of the material energy, just as the sun is the source of the sunshine. The sunshine cannot cover the sun globe, nor can the material energy being an emanation from you cover you. You appear to be in the three modes of material nature, but actually the three modes of material energy cannot cover you. This is understood by the highly intellectual philosophers. In other words, although you appear to be within the material energy, you are never covered by it. We hear from the Vedic version that the Supreme Brahman exhibits his effulgence, and therefore everything becomes illuminated. We can understand from Brahma Samhita that the Brahma Jyoti, or the Brahman effulgence, emanates from the body of the Supreme Lord. And from the Brahman effulgence all creation takes place. It is further stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is also the support of the Brahman effulgence. Originally, he is the root cause of everything. But persons who are less intelligent think that when the Supreme Person of Godhead comes within the material world, he accepts the material qualities. Such conclusions are not very mature, but are made by the less intelligent. The personality of Godhead is directly and indirectly existing everywhere. He is outside this material creation, and he is also within it. He is within this material creation not only as Garbhodakasai Vishnu, he is also within the atom. Existence is due to his presence. Nothing can be separated from his existence. In the Vedic injunction, we find that the Supreme Soul, or the root cause of everything, has to be searched out, because nothing exists independent of the Supreme Soul. Therefore, the material manifestation is also a transformation of his potency. Both inert matter and the living force soul are emanations from him. Only the foolish conclude that when the Supreme Lord appears, he accepts the conditions of matter. Even if he appears to have accepted the material body, he is still not subjected to any material condition. Krishna has therefore appeared and defeated all imperfect conclusions about the appearance and disappearance of the personality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My Lord, your appearance, existence, and disappearance are beyond the influence of the material energy. Because your Lordship is the controller of everything and the resting place of the Supreme Brahman, there is nothing inconceivable or contradictory in you. As you have said, material nature works under your superintendence. It is just like government officers working under the orders of the chief executive. The influence of the subordinate activities cannot affect you. The Supreme Brahman and all phenomena are existing within you, and all activities of material nature are controlled by your lordship. You are called Shuklam. Shuklam or whiteness is the symbolic representation of the absolute truth because it is unaffected by the material qualities. Lord Brahma is called Rakta or red because Brahma represents the qualities of passion for creation. Darkness is entrusted to Lord Shiva because he annihilates the cosmos. The creation, annihilation, and maintenance of this cosmic manifestation is conducted by your potencies, yet you are always unaffected by those qualities. As confirmed in the Vedas, Hariyet Nirguna Shakshat, the person of God is always free from all material qualities. It is also said that the qualities of passion and ignorance are non-existent in the person of the Supreme Lord. Haribol. Okay, who wants to read from this part? Is anyone free?
Prabhu, can I ask just a question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, it is regarding Lord Balram. Like actually, I had gone to one temple, I think Gaudiya Math. So one person was telling me that Lord Balram appeared in the 12 p.m. today, and Lord Krishna would be appearing 12 a.m. Till midnight. Like, is it Prabhu? Like when he actually appeared, like on the Balram Purnima, he I think got into the womb of Devaki. But when he appeared, I want to know.
I'm not sure actually, Prabhu. I think I only know that one appearance there of Lord Balaram, but I didn't know it would be today or something like that. I only know he appeared.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Did you read this? No. Okay, here you can continue.
Sorry, Prabhu. Are you telling me to read?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm waiting for you to
Mm.
read.
Uh, Prabhu, just like, can you wait just 2 minutes, Prabhu? I'll do. Or Prabhu, meanwhile, can any other devotee can read?
My Lord, you are the supreme controller, the person of Godhead, the supreme great, maintaining the order of this cosmic manifestation. And in spite of your being the supreme controller, you have so kindly appeared in my home. The purpose of your appearance is to kill the followers of the demonic rulers of the world who are in the dress of royal princes, but are actually demons. I am sure that you will kill all of them and their followers and soldiers. I understand that you have appeared to kill the uncivilized Kamsa and his followers, But knowing that you were to appear to kill him and his followers, he has already killed so many of your predecessors, elder brothers. Now he is simply awaiting the news of your birth. As soon as he hears about it, he will immediately appear with all kinds of weapons to kill you. After this prayer of Vasudeva, Devaki, the mother of Krishna, offered her prayers. She was very frightened because of her brother's atrocities. Devaki said, "My dear Lord, your eternal forms like Narayana, Lord Rama, Sesha, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, Baladeva, and millions of similar incarnations emanating from Vishnu are described in the Vedic literature as original. You are original because all your forms are incarnations, as incarnations are outside of this material creation. Your form was existing before this cosmic manifestation was created. Your forms are eternal and all-pervading. They are self-effulgent, changeless, and uncontaminated by the material qualities. Such eternal forms are ever cognizant and full of bliss. They are situated in transcendental goodness and are always engaged in different pastimes. You are not limited to a particular form only. All such transcendental eternal forms are self-sufficient. I can understand that you are the Supreme Lord Vishnu. After millions of years, when Lord Brahma comes to the end of his life, the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation takes place. At that time, the five elements, namely earth, water, fire, and ether, air, and ether enter into the Mahatattva. The Mahatattva again enters by the force of time into the non-manifested total material energy. The total material energy enters into the energetic pradana, and the pradana enters into you. So there's so many steps. Therefore, after annihilation of the whole cosmic manifestation, you alone remain with your transcendental name, form, quality, and paramphilia. My Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the director of the unmanifested total energy and the ultimate reservoir of material nature. My Lord, the whole cosmic manifestation is under the influence of time, beginning from the moment up to the duration of the year. All act under your direction. You are the original director of everything and the reservoir of all potent energies. Therefore, my lord, I request you to save me from the cruel hands of the son of Ugrasena, Kamsa. I am praying to your lordship to please rescue me from this fearful condition, because you are always ready to give protection to your servitors. The Lord has confirmed this statement in the Bhagavad Gita by assuring Arjuna, "You may declare to the world, my devotee shall never be vanquished." While thus praying to the Lord for rescue, Mother Devaki expressed her motherly affection. I understand that this transcendental form is generally perceived in meditation by the great sages, but I am still afraid because as soon as Kamsa understands that you have appeared, he might harm you. So I request that you, for the time being, you become invisible to our material eyes. In other words, she requested the Lord to assume the form of an ordinary child. My only cause of fear from my brother Kamsa is due to your appearance. My lord Madhusudana, Kamsa may know that you are already born. Therefore I request you to conceal this four-armed form of your lordship, which holds the four symbols of Vishnu, namely the conch shell, the disc, the club, and the lotus flower. My dear lord, at the end of the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation, you put the whole universe within your abdomen. Still, by your unallied mercy, you have appeared in my womb. I am surprised that you imitate the activities of ordinary human beings just to please your devotee. On hearing the prayers of Devaki, the Lord replied, "My dear mother, in the millennium of Swayambhuva Manu, my father Vasudeva was living as one of the Prajapatis, and his name at that time was Sutapa. and you were his wife named Prishni. At that time, when Lord Brahma was desiring to increase the population, he requested you to generate offspring. You controlled your senses and performed severe austerities. By practicing the breathing exercise of the yoga system, both you and your husband could tolerate all the influences of the material laws. The rainy season, the onslaught of the wind, and the scorching heat of the sunshine. You also executed all religious principles. In this way, you were able to cleanse your heart and control the influence of material law. In executing your austerity, you used to eat only the leaves of the trees which fell to the ground. Then, with steady mind and controlled sex drive, you worshipped me, desiring some wonderful benediction from me. Both of you practiced severe austerities for 12,000 years by the calculations of the demigods. So long. During that time, where it is, during that time your mind was always absorbed in me, when you were executing devotional service and always thinking of me within your heart, I was very much pleased with you. O sinless mother, your heart is therefore always pure. At that time also appeared before you in this form, just to fulfill your desire, and I asked you to ask whether you desired, whatever you desired. At that time you wished to have me be born as your son, although you saw me personally instead of asking for your complete liberation from the material bondage. Under the influence of my energy, you asked me to become your son. In other words, the Lord selected his mother and father, namely Prishni and Sutapa, specifically to appear in the material world. Whenever the Lord comes as a human being, he must have someone as a mother and father, so he selected Prishni and Sutapa perpetually as his mother and father. And on account of this, both Prishni and Sutapa could not ask the Lord for liberation. Liberation is not so important as the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Lord could have awarded Prishni and Sutapa immediate liberation, but he preferred to keep them within this material world for his different appearances, as will be explained in the following verses. On receiving the benediction from the Lord to become his father and mother, both Prishni and Sutapa returned from the activities of austerity and lived as husband and wife in order to beget a child who was the Supreme Lord himself. Amit Prabhu, you now free?
Yes, Prabhu, I can read now.
Yes,
Uh,
oh, oh, there's only
but
two.
just one thing, Prabhu, I want to ask that just before one paragraph, it is like she was praying, "Oh Madhusudana." So, like Prabhu, Madhus was a demon which Krishna killed in his lifetime. So how Devaki knew that and addressed him as Madhusudan?
Oh, because he's the also Arjuna called him Madhusudana, because he's the killer of the
Who,
Dev
Prabhu?
Madhu. Yes, that's the Krishna's form as the demon killer. So when they address Krishna as killing some demon, like Arjuna
Yes,
was
Prabhu.
addressing him, then they address as Madhusudana.
But still, Prabhu, Madhu was a demon. So how she like Devaki knew the name of the demon who Krishna will be killing in his lifetime here in material
He's
world.
Krishna's mother. Of course he knows. Like your mother knows who you've been fighting with.
Yes, Prabhu, but
No, Prabhu, Madhu was a demon killed by Krishna in the beginning of creation.
okay. Is it? It is not in the lifetime in Dwapar Yuga.
No,
I'm not sure when this was.
no, Prabhu, there is
Okay,
no mention of Madhu demon in life of Krishna.
Hmm.
okay, Prabhu. Then okay, okay, Prabhu, I'll read them. Prabhu, devotees are decreasing here. I don't know why.
Oh, we have still six. It's good. Karti Prabhu had to
So
go to exam, I think.
he had some work, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. I also, Prabhu, I would read for like 15-20 minutes, then I had also some work. So yeah.
Mhm. Yes, Prabhu.
Um, so in due course of time, Krishna became pregnant and gave birth to the child. The Lord spoke of Devaki and Vasudeva. At that time, my name was Krishna Garbha. In the next millennium, also you took birth as Aditi and Kashyap, and I became your child of the name Upendra. At that time, I was just like a dwarf, and for this reason, I was known as Vamandev. I gave you the benediction that I would take birth as the son, as your son, 3 times. Uh, the first time I was known as Krishna Garbha, born of Krishna and Sutapa. The next time I was Upendra, born of Aditi and Kashyap, and now for the third time I was born as Krishna from you, Devaki and Vasudeva. I appeared in this Vishnu form just to convince you that I am uh, the same supreme personality of Godhead again taken birth. I could have appeared just like an ordinary child, but in that way you would not believe that I, the supreme personality of Godhead, had taken birth in your womb. My father and mother, you have therefore raised me many times as your child with great affection and love, and I am therefore very pleased and obliged to you. And I assure you that this time you shall go back home, back to Godhead, on account of your perfection in your mission. I know you are very concerned about me and afraid of Kamsha. Therefore, I order you to take me immediately to Gokula and replace me with the daughter who has just been born to Yashoda. Uh, Prabhu, is it that Devaki and Vasudeva, like Lord promised to take them back to Godhead? So Prabhu, in his like Golok Vrindavan, I think, Yashoda and Nand Maharaj are his parents. And is it like Devaki and Vasudeva is also there? And is it the same who came to earth and got 3 times Lord as his child?
Like what, Prabhu? Can you repeat?
Uh, yes, Prabhu. Like Prabhupada tells now that Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are not normal souls, and they are living with Krishna eternally in Goloka Vrindavan. So I want to just know that is it like Devaki and Vasudeva is also living with Krishna eternally, and do they come and take these 3 births and do tapasya and get Krishna as their child, and after Dwapar Yuga they again go back to Godhead and like sorry, Nanda
I think
Maharaj
when Krishna
and
appears, he
Yashoda
chooses
come.
some devotees. Yes, Prabhu.
What,
When
Prabhu?
Krishna appears, he chooses some devotees to appear with him, to act as his mother and father.
Yes, Prabhu. No, I'm asking, are they eternal? Like Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are eternal.
Yes, Prabhu.
Whenever Krishna comes, they also come and they
Yes,
give what, like they to Krishna. So is it the case with Devaki and Vasudeva also that they come from Golok Vrindavan and get Krishna as their child 3 times, like Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj?
I think both are parents in all they repeat these pastimes. They have the same role.
Okay, Prabhu.
It's their lila or
So
rasa.
they all are eternal.
Yes, Prabhu.
Devaki, Vasudeva, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, all. Yes, Prabhu. Having spoken thus, in the presence of his father and mother, the Lord turned himself into an ordinary child and remained silent. Lord turned himself into an ordinary, okay, being ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva attempted to take his son from the delivery room, and exactly at that time, a daughter was born of Nanda and Yashoda. She was Yogamaya, the eternal internal potency of the Lord. By the influence of his internal potency, Yogamaya, all the residents of Kamsha's palace, especially the doorkeepers, were overwhelmed with deep sleep, and all the palace doors opened, and although they were barred and shackled with iron chains. The night was very dark, but as soon as Vasudeva took Krishna on his lap and went out, he could see everything just as in the sunlight. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Krishna is like sunlight, and wherever there is Krishna, the illusory energy, which is compared to darkness, cannot exist, cannot remain. When Vasudeva was carrying Krishna, the darkness of the night disappeared. All the prison doors automatically opened. At the same time, there was a thunder in the sky and severe rainfall. While Vasudeva was carrying his son Krishna in the falling rain, Lord Shesha, in the shape of a serpent, spread his hood over the head of Vasudeva so that he would not be hampered by the rainfall. Vasudeva came unto the bank of the Yamuna and saw that water of the Yamuna was roaring with waves, and that whole span was full of foam. Still in that furious feature, the river passage to Vasudeva to cross just as the river gave passage to Vasudeva to cross just as the great Indian Ocean gave a path to Lord Rama when he was bridging over the Gulf. In this way, Vasudeva crossed the river Yamuna. On the other side, he went to the place of Nanda Maharaj, situated in Gokula, where he saw that all the cowherd men were fast asleep. He took the opportunity of silently entering into the house of Yashoda, and without difficulty, he replaced his son, taking away the baby girl newly born in the house of Yashoda. Then, after entering the house very silently, uh, after yeah, and exchanging the boy with the girl, he again returned to the prison of Kamsa and silently put the girl on the lap of Devaki. He again clamped the shackles on himself so that Kamsa could not recognize that so many things had happened. Mother Yashoda understood that a child was born of her, but because she was very tired from the labor of childhood, she was fast asleep. When she awoke, she could not remember whether she had given birth to a male or female child. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of third chapter of Krishna, the birth of Lord Krishna. Prabhu, is that the girl
Haribo.
Yashoda, born to Yashoda Maya was Yoga Maya? Yeah, yeah. It is written given like Lord, every shackles opened, doors opened, and everything gave way to the Lord as soon as Yoga Maya got birth. So, like, is it born to Yashoda, that girl? I think whom Kamsa smashed her in the wall, then she came in the Durga form, and she warns Kamsa that your
Yes, Prem.
death has been arrived.
Haribo.
Prabhu, it is like if we don't consider Krishna as the Lord, no, then the normal people, materialistic people, they'll be like, what this is? Like, this is the theft, like you're replacing a child, and the gopis are leaving homes at 11, 12 in the night. At that time, when it was considered a taboo kind of thing to even spend one night outside for women. But if we take in Lord Krishna, then we can't say that those are right. Wherever Krishna is, that is right.
Yes, Prabhu. Oh, let's read the fourth
Thank
also.
you for session.
Sorry, Prabhu, your voice wasn't coming properly.
Thank you, Samito, for your session because we have studied 3 chapters.
What, Prabhu? Means, Prabhu, your
Actually,
voice is
Prabhu, I
like
cannot speak
coming not
properly.
clear. It is.
Sorry, actually,
What,
my
Prabhu?
voice is not. I cannot speak properly.
Okay, Prabhu. It is like coming in uh, kind of waves. Whole words are not clear.
So let's read one more chapter. Who wants to start?
Bro, can I read it just like 10 minutes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then anyone can continue. Yes, ma'am. So, fourth chapter, Kamsa begins his persecutions. After Vasudeva adjusted all the doors and gates, the gatekeepers awoke and heard the newborn child crying. Kamsa was waiting to hear the news of the child's birth, and the gatekeepers immediately approached him and informed him that the child was born. At that time, Kamsa got up from his bed very quickly and exclaimed, "Now the cruel death of my life is born." Kamsa became perplexed now that his death was approaching and his hair stood on end. Immediately he proceeded towards the place where the child was born. Devaki, on seeing her brother approaching, prayed in a very meek attitude to Kamsa. "My dear brother, please do not kill this female child. I promise that this child will be the wife of your son. Therefore, you don't kill her. You are not to be killed by any female child. That was the omen. You are to be killed by a male child. So please do not kill her. My dear brother, you have killed so many of my children who were just born, shining as the sun. That is not your fault. You have been advised by a demoniac friends to kill my children. I beg you to, Prabhu, please excuse this girl. Let her live as my daughter." Vamsha was so cruel that he did not listen to the beautiful prayers of his sister Devaki. He forcibly grabbed the newborn child, to rebuke his sister, and attempted to dash her on the stone mercilessly. This is a graphic example of a cruel brother who could sacrifice all relationships for the sake of personal gratification. But immediately the child slipped, went up in the sky, and appeared his 8 arms as a younger sister. Prabhu, some call is coming. I think any devotee can continue then.
This is a graphic example of a cruel brother who could sacrifice all relationships for the sake of personal gratification. But immediately the child slipped out of his hands, went up in the sky, and appeared with 8 arms as the younger sister of Vishnu. She was decorated with a nice dress and flower garlands and ornaments. In her 8 hands she held a bow, lancet, arrows, bell, conch shell, disc, club, and shield. Seeing the appearance of the child, who was actually the goddess Durga, all the demigods from different planets like Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, Gandharvaloka, Apsaraloka, Kinnaraloka, and Uragaloka presented her articles and began to offer their respectful prayers. From above, the goddess addressed Kamsa. "You rascal, how can you kill me? The child who will kill you is already born before me somewhere within this world. Don't be so cruel to your poor sister." After this appearance, the goddess Durga became known by various names in various parts of the world. After hearing these words, Kamsa became very much overwhelmed with fear. Out of pity, he immediately released Vasudeva and Devaki from the bondage of their shackles and very politely began to address them. He said, "My dear sister and brother-in-law, I have acted just like a demon in killing my own nephews. I have given up all consideration of our intimate relationship. I do not know what will be the result of these acts of mine. Probably I shall be sent to hell, where killers of the Brahmanas go. I am surprised, however, that the celestial prophecy has not come true. False propaganda is not found only in the human society. Now it appears that even the celestial denizens speak lies. Because I believed in the words of the celestial denizens, I have committed so many sins by killing the children of my sister. My dear Vasudeva and Devaki, you are both very great souls. I have nothing to instruct you, but still I request that you not be sorry for the death of your children. Every one of us is under control of superior power, and the superior power does not allow us to remain together. We are bound up to be separated from our friends and relatives in due course of time, but we must know for certain that even after the disappearance of the different material bodies, the soul remains intact eternally. For example, there are many pots made of earthly clay, and they are prepared and also broken. But in spite of this, the earth remains as it is perpetually. Similarly, the bodies of the soul under different conditions are made and destroyed, but the spirit soul remains eternally. So there is nothing to lament over. Everyone should understand that this material body is different from the spirit soul, and so long as one does not come to that understanding, he is sure to accept the process of transmigration from one body to another. My dear sister Devaki, you are so gentle and kind. Please excuse me. Don't be aggrieved by the death of your children, which I have caused. Actually, this was not done by me, because all these are predestined activities. One has to act according to the predestined plan, unwillingly, even unwillingly. People misunderstand that with the end of the body, the self dies, or they think that one can kill another living entity. All these misconceptions oblige one to accept the conditions of material existence. In other words, as long as one is not firmly convinced of the eternality of the soul, one is subjected to the tribulation of being killer and killed. My dear sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva, kindly excuse the atrocities I have committed against you. I am very poor-hearted, and you are so great-hearted, so take compassion upon me and excuse me. While Kamsa was speaking to his brother-in-law and sister, tears flowed from his eyes and he fell down at their feet. Believing the words of Durga Devi, whom he had tried to kill, Kamsa immediately released his brother-in-law and sister. He personally unlocked the iron shackles and very sympathetically showed his friendship, just like a family member. When Devaki saw her brother so repentant, she also became pacified and forgot all his atrocities activities against her children. Vasudeva, also forgetting all past incidents, spoke smilingly with his brother-in-law. Vasudeva told Kamsa, "My dear fortunate brother-in-law, what you are saying about the material body and the soul is correct. Every living entity is born ignorant, understanding this material body to be his self. This conception of life is due to ignorance, and on the basis of this ignorance we create enmity of friendship, lamentation, jubilation, fearfulness, envy, greed, illusion, and madness are different features of our material concept of life. A person influenced like this engages in enmity due only to the material body. Being engaged in such activities, we forget our eternal relationship with the Supreme Person of Godhead. Vasudeva took the opportunity of Kamsa's benevolence and informed him that his atheistic activities were also due to his misconception of life, namely taking the material body to be the self. When Vasudeva talked with Kamsa in such an illuminating way, Kamsa became very pleased and his guilt for killing his nephew subdued. With the permission of his sister, Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva, he returned to his home with a relieved mind. Hmm. But the next day,
But
Kamsa.
what actually I wonder, like they are not released, and Krishna comes in the age of 11 years and they get released. And this is something just a different story.
Oh, what it means, Prabhu?
Um, what more? Didn't you hear?
No, Prabhu.
I was telling that what I have heard that Devaki and Vasudeva are being released after 11 years when Krishna comes back. Until then, and also Kamsa did not repent, and again he tries and tries to kill Krishna by spending like sending various demons. So this is like he repented and let them go. It's just a different story, like for me.
Not 11 years, Prabhu, but because Krishna was still little child, like baby during this time. So he's he's not 11 years old yet.
No, yes, bro, what I have heard that when after 11 years the Devki and Vasudev get released by Krishna only after killing Kamsa.
Hmm. So after killing Kamsa, 11
He has
years.
told that. What?
So after killing Kamsa.
Yes, this is what I have heard. I don't know if this is
Yeah, I
coming
know
from
they
any
were,
source.
they were immediately released after Kamsa was killed.
What, bro?
I think they were released after Kamsa was killed, like immediately.
Yes.
Will you read the rest, Prabhu? There's 2 pages.
Um, yes, bro. Uh, so just a minute, I will see that what is happening.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, I can finish this page. But the next day Kamsa called all his counselors together and narrated to them all the incidents that had happened the night before. All the counselors of Kamsa were demons and eternally enemies of the demigods, so they became depressed upon hearing their master speak of the night's events. And although they were not very much experienced or learned, they began to give instructions to Kamsa as follows. Dear sir, let us now make arrangements to kill all children who are born within the last 10 days in all towns, countries, villages, and pasturing grounds. Let us execute this plan indiscriminately. We think that the demigods cannot do anything against us if we perform these atrocities. They are always afraid of fighting with us, and even if they wish to check our activities, they will not dare to do so. Because of the immeasurable strength of your bow, they fear you. Indeed, we have practical experience that whenever you stood to fight with them and began to shower your arrows to them, they immediately began to flee in all directions just to save their lives. Many of the demigods were unable to fight with you, and they immediately surrendered themselves unto you by opening their turbans and the flag on their heads. With folded hands they begged you to spare them and said, My lord, we are all afraid of your strength. Please release us from this dangerous fight. We have also seen many times that you would never kill such surrendered fighters, even when they were all fearful, their bows aroused and chariots broken, forgetful of their military activities and unable to fight with you. So actually we have nothing to fear from these demigods. They are very proud of being great fighters in peacetime outside of the warfield, but actually they cannot show any talent or military power on the warfield. Actually, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma are always ready to help the demigods headed by Indra. We have no reason to be afraid of them. As far as Lord Vishnu is concerned, he has already hidden himself within the hearts of all living entities, and he cannot come out. As far as Lord Shiva is concerned, he has renounced all activities, he has already entered into the forest. And Lord Brahma is always engaged in different types of austerities and meditation. And what to speak of Indra? He is a straw in comparison to your strength. Therefore, we have nothing to fear from all these demigods. But we must not neglect them because the demigods are our determined enemies. We must be careful to protect ourselves. To root them out of from their very existence, we should engage ourselves in your service and be always ready for your command. The demons continued to say, if there is some disease in the body which is neglected, it becomes incurable. Similarly, when one is not careful about restricting the senses and lets them loose, it is very difficult to control them at all. Therefore, we must always be very careful of the demigods before they get too strong to be subdued. The foundation of the strength of the demigods is Lord Vishnu, because the ultimate goal of all religious principles is to satisfy him. The Vedic injunctions, the Brahmanas, the cows, austerities, sacrifices, performances of charity, and distribution of wealth are all for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So let us immediately begin to kill by killing all the Brahmanas who are in charge of the Vedic knowledge, and the great sages who are in charge of the sacrificial ritualistic performances. Let us kill all the cows which are the source of butter, which is so necessary for performing sacrifices. Please give us your permission to kill all these creatures. Actually, the limbs of the transcendental body of Lord Vishnu are the Brahmanas, the cows, Vedic knowledge, austerity, truthfulness, sense and mind control, faithfulness, charity, tolerance, and performance of sacrifices. Lord Vishnu is situated in everyone's heart and is the leader of all demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. We think that to kill Lord Vishnu is to persecute the great sages and Brahmanas, said the ministers. Thus, being advised by the demonic ministers, Kamsa, who was from the very beginning the greatest rascal, decided to persecute the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, being entrapped by the shackles of all-devouring eternal time. He ordered the demons to harass all kinds of saintly persons, and then he entered his house. Yet the adherents of Kamsa were all influenced by the modes of passion as well as illusioned by the modes of ignorance, and their only business was to create enmity with the saintly persons. Such activities can only reduce the duration of life. The demons accelerated the process and invited their deaths as soon as possible. The results of persecuting saintly persons is not only untimely death, the act is so offensive that the actor also gradually loses his beauty, his fame, and his religious principles, and his promotion to higher planets is also checked. What is this persecute? To hostility and ill treatment, especially because ill treat the saintly persons. Driven by various kinds of mental concussions, the demons diminish all kinds of welfare. An offense at the lotus feet of the devotees and the Brahmanas is a greater offense than that committed at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, a godless civilization becomes the source of all calamities. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the fourth chapter of Krishna. Kamsa begins his persecution. Haribol. Okay, now we go to the six Astakam prayers. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहाधवग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मास्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्. Yes, Prabhu.
नाम्ना मकारि बहुड़ निज सर्वशक्तिश् तत्रार्पिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् इहाजनीनानुरागः
त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि.
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मां जन्मनि जन्मनि ईश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतिकी त्वयि
हैनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजा स्थिता धूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया.
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदारुब्धया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे.
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं विनष्टु माम् अदृशनां मर्महतां वरोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Haribo, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon at large because it's oh, benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord, your holy. Yes, bro, you can continue. Please continue, Prabhu. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They are not even hard and fast truths for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you have enabled us to easily approach you by chanting your names, but I am so ungrateful that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of false sense of false prestige, and ready to offer respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service both after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Hari Bol, Shri Siksastakam ki jai.
Jai.
बहुजन्म करयादि श्रवण कीर्तन tabutana paya Krishna pade premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of Godhead that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense to blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna to be one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as spiritual activities, Karmakanda.
Ninth offense is to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth offense is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to be maintained material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema.
Let us offer humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of
Unto
the
all
Lord.
other Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, they can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of
Souls.
compassion for the fallen souls.
पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
नंद गोदे वैष्णविंद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
वैष्णवेन्द्र की जय। जय।